think Liverpool can
Yeah.
get Colwill away from you?
Nah. That's not happening. That ain't even a rumor coming from any agents or anything like that or any journalists. It's Liverpool fans that have made this, that started this. You guys started this with Casado, Enzo. Now it's Colwill. It's not happening. The guy's under contract. All that needs to happen is we need to have a conversation with him, let him know what his role is. Obviously, we're going to offer him a new contract as well to actually show him that, listen, you're part of the team now. You're going to up your wages. And yeah, just to have a conversation with him. Because right now, as it stands, he's our first choice. Badiashile is out injured. Koulibaly's gone. So he's literally our first choice left centre back. So Liverpool fans are just annoying themselves because what's going to happen is Colwill's going to be in that first team, like I said. The first game when we've got you lot on that Sunday, he'll be in our starting 11. He's not going Liverpool. There's no chance. No chance he got to
even if he doesn't want to stay, because
people are starting. I don't know if we're going into the Colwill segment, Terry. I don't know if
let's just go.
okay.
Organic. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. So with Colwill, I know people are looking at that video and they're making assumptions about the video, you know, because he kind of just moved away from Madueke. It's not that deep. I said this the other day, like footballers will never come out and say, I'm definitely going to sign a contract. Do you know what I mean? Or I'm definitely staying. They'll never do that, bro, because what happens when you do that? You lose your bargaining power. Do you know what I mean? Once he says that on camera, that's it. The bargaining power is gone. He needs to go to Chelsea and make them aware that, listen, I've got Liverpool after me. I've got this team after me. I've got many people interested in me. What can you guys do for me? He will never come out in public. That'll be very silly for him to do that. So I'm not even angry that he reacted like that, because really and truly, it's like Noni's quite an extrovert. I don't know about Levi. He seems a bit, you know, keeps himself to himself. Everyone's different. Do you know what I mean? He will never come out and make it obvious that he's staying at Chelsea. But all that's coming out right now is that we need to have a conversation. We've had it in the works to give Levi a new contract. It was only Tuchel that wanted to get rid of him. Todd Bowley blocked that move. When we signed Mudryk, Levi was back at Stamford Bridge to watch that game, his first game when Mudryk got signed. He was there. So it's Liverpool fans that are trying to start this whole thing about him going Liverpool because apparently he's a Liverpool fan, but it's not going to happen. Like we're not selling him. He's literally our first choice.
I'm not saying it won't happen. It will or won't. What I will say though is that if Liverpool are being linked with someone like a Colwill, especially for the level of Liverpool, this isn't like an Enzo's like he's a massive. I mean, if he ended up at Real Madrid or ended up at City, no one would have been surprised. Colwill obviously had a good season at Brighton, but he's not this world beater at the moment. So for me, if Liverpool are linked with the likes of like a Lavia, the likes of a Colwill, I think there's serious interest in the way the reporters are talking about Colwill. I think Liverpool are interested. Now, whether a deal can get done, that's a different question. Yeah. I'm just interested to see if Colwill was to say, I don't want to stay at Chelsea, and Liverpool can guarantee him game time, I see him going to Liverpool, because I think Todd Bowley, the way he would do business is say, you know what, he doesn't want to be here. Pochettino can't have players there that are going to start. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be here. I don't want to play. You get rid of him, get your 40, 50 million or whatever, and then you're able to go and invest that into the squad. Because I think that's what you guys are doing anyway. With to get rid of the Pulisic, Havertz.
I think I'd be more worried about it if we still had Koulibaly. But the fact of the matter is, we moved him on to actually make a space for Colwill. And like I said, right now, the role is his if he wants it. I know people are saying, oh, you guys have Badiashile, but from a few people that I've spoken to that were watching Badiashile at Monaco, they've said he's actually played right centre-back before as well. So there's nothing stopping Chelsea from playing Badiashile and Colwill. Do you know what I mean? I've said this before about Colwill playing at left-back if we decide to do what Pep does. Do you know what I mean? We don't know what type of Poch is going to come into the league now because Poch hasn't been in the Prem for quite a while. So we don't know the different roles that he can actually have Levi playing. But as it stands, he's literally our first choice. So it's a matter of having that conversation, making him aware that he's part of our future. It's not just Poch that wanted him. It's the club that have wanted him for a minute. It was Tuchel that wanted to get rid. So I think Chelsea fans, if anyone's panicking that Levi is going to leave, it's not going to happen. Like it's very, very unlikely. I just don't see it.
Out of curiosity, what centre-backs have Chelsea got at the moment? Because I know you guys got rid of a lot of them.
Yeah, so left centre-backs, we've got Colwill, Badiashile. Right centre-backs, you've got Thiago Silva and Fofana. And then you've got Chalobah as well. But he could potentially leave in the summer. We've got Sarr coming back on loan. I don't know if you guys remember him, Malang Sarr. He's going to get sold most likely. So yeah, those are our centre-back options. Obviously, we've only got one game a week. So Chalobah will most likely move on, I reckon.
Do you think Colwill's the starter then? Knowing that Thiago Silva... Right. Obviously, Thiago Silva's been amazing for Chelsea. And you've got Fofana, you spent 80 plus million on. For me, that's
they're right centre backs though, innit? Levi plays on the left, so as it stands, he definitely starts. Badiashile's injured. That gives me a little bit more confidence. Do you know what I mean? If Badiashile was training right now, because he's pretty much going to miss the whole preseason, So by default, he's literally our left centre back, and he's still got 2 years left on his contract. People forget this, with an extra year, if we want to take it up. So it's not like his contract's finishing next year. Like, he's still got 2 years there. So yeah, man, I don't see Levi leaving. I think it's just a conversation that needs to be had.
Does Colwill have experience playing left back? Because if not, it's a redundant transfer for Liverpool.
He does. He does.
Okay.
Yeah, he does. He does have the experience playing left back. Yeah, he could definitely play that role. Definitely play that role. But the only reason why I don't really think it will happen is obviously Poch likes his wing backs going up and down. Do you know what I mean? Levi, I don't know how much he can actually do that. But again, because he's played that role, you never know. You never know. Do you know what I mean? Poch might try something different against different opposition. So you never know.
It's certainly gonna be an interesting one. There's no doubt about that. There's some super chats that have come in here. It says that Thiago was mismanaged by Liverpool as he needs to have quality around him, which will now with Alexis and Soboslai. He would start all our big games, 200%. Clearly, our best midfielder is what Neil O'Callaghan says there.
I mean, mismanaged in what way? He's been injury prone at every club he's been at, and had one standout season where he won the Champions League, where people were kind of, touting him as the best midfielder in the world. Apart from that, he's been an amazing talent, shown glimpses of being amazing. But even at Barcelona, he was supposed to be the heir apparent to Iniesta and Xavi, and they got rid of him and got Rakitic. If he was that guy, Barca would have never got rid of him. Look how long Busquets and the likes of that have been at the club. They would have never done that. So, yeah, I mean, technically, yes, but if he's not available, I don't know about that.
Thiago and Partey can offer a lot, but can't stay fit, is what Styguna says. This from Z, who says, Terry, you said Chelsea fans have been missing. Just wanted to say, even though I don't always super chat, I'm always here. Poch is cooking the night. Cheers, by the way, Z. I did read today that the players have already said they've done more running in the first week of pre-season under Poch than they did the whole of last year. And yeah, Chelsea can be interesting next year. Big week around Caicedo as well, because it's really been the deal's just been like treading water now for about 3 weeks. There was that talk of that £60 million bid, and I think Ornstein tweeted that about 4 weeks ago, but nothing's happened. There was talk 3 weeks ago from Fabs that he wants to join you, and that's it.
Literally.
It's such a weird deal, that one.
The only new thing that's come out really is that we want him to join before we actually go on tour to America. I think we leave on Saturday as well, I believe. So if I'm reading between the lines, the fact that we've actually been dealing with them for a minute now, I do think it's quite close. We've taken a different approach. We're not going back and forth in public, bidding constantly. We're trying to get a verbal acceptance and then bid what we know is going to get accepted. So the fact that we won him before we actually go on pre-season, I think we're quite close. I'm praying that something happens this week, because I need to start seeing some more incomings. It's only Jackson so far, so yeah.
Yeah, George, how do you feel like Chelsea? I don't know, we spoke too much this summer. Like Chelsea's business has been so far, because they've got rid of a lot of their deadwood, but only one signing. The Caicedo deal was kind of stalled for weeks now. Do you think they'll be ready? You understand Poch and what he does at clubs. They'll be ready for the start of the season.
Yeah, I feel like with Poch, for me, I feel like he's a manager that's going to be able to make the most of the very budding academy that Chelsea brings. And they've got a lot of players like the likes of Colwill that are probably waiting for that chance into the Premier League and into that first team. And I feel like Poch can utilize those, the likes of Jackson and these young players that haven't proved themselves yet. He's going to take them to the next level. And the one thing with Poch that you can guarantee, he isn't just a good manager. He's a good coach. He's very good at developing players and improving them in their natural skills in their positions and making them a bit more versatile. So for me, I feel like the window has been a bit underwhelming at the moment, but they've got the business done nice and early for their outgoings to then give them that focus later on in the window. They've still got another 6-7 weeks where they can focus on the positions of who they want to bring in, because they've literally got rid of everyone. They're probably only going to do a few more outgoings. They just had Pulisic done this week. I know you've still got a few more players. So I feel like it's been a bit slow, but we all know Chelsea, they've got the money to spend. So probably give it another month and they've got a new 4 or 5 players in the window, gone and spent 250 million. And they've brought Poch the players he needs, because we all know there's still a lot of holes in that squad. They've got one first team midfielder in Enzo, and then the rest you're looking at. like a bit funny. So they still need to sign 3 or maybe 5 more players, and we all know they're going to be big signings. I don't expect any of them to be underwhelming. So give it another month, and Chelsea they're still warming up into this.
And let's not forget. Every single time was having conversations about what Chelsea need to do. Everyone was saying Chelsea need to sell first before we start bringing in players. Do you know what I mean? That's the main thing that even with Chelsea fans, we were saying that we need to start getting rid of players before we even think of incomings. Do you know what I mean? The squad is just too bloated. Obviously, that Saudi relationship helped us because we didn't expect that to come in, but it's good that we're moving in the right direction. I don't think silence is a bad thing. If you remember last summer, Todd Bowley was everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea were everywhere. Every player that we were linked to, there was just leaks everywhere. He was just, smooth and sporadic with everything. But now it's a little bit more quiet, a little bit more calm. I think things are cooking in the background. Do you know what I mean? So I'm only going to criticize it if come the end of the window we haven't made. Do you know what I mean? We haven't made much improvement in terms of the incomings. So for now, we just have to wait. You just have to wait, really. As annoying as it is, it's just a waiting game now, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Chelsea. Yeah, I think Chelsea will make those signings, as you say. I feel like the transfer window in the last week has gone a little quiet, if that makes sense. It's like got a lot of deals I think being worked on. No one knows about. There's outgoings. Teams are probably going to start their pre-season and whatever else. But yeah, Chelsea's situation is looking interesting. I think fans should keep a real close eye on that because I think 2 or 3 big signings will be made. I don't think there's any problems with the Caicedo deal personally. I just think it's exactly where you want it to be. Like when it goes quiet, I don't think that's a negative thing. You know, I've seen that with in the last week with the Declan Rice thing. Certain goons are, what's happening? Why hasn't it been announced? There's no update is a good thing. It's done. It's over the line.
You know what though, Terry? What makes me laugh though is everyone gets onto Fabrizio on Twitter like, "Oh, why'd you keep updating us with the same thing, just changing a few words?" And then when they don't hear anything, they're complaining. You know, you can't win with fans. There's never a balance. There's never a balance in the middle. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just a waiting game, man. There's things that happen in the background. Like we're not going to go into the season without bringing in, like George said, at least 2 midfielders. Do you know what I mean? So we just have to wait.
100%.